Hello guys, I'm back, man. And I'm sharing my story time with you guys. So this will be part 3. So as a young carrier at the Postal Service, you have to really be dedicated to this job day one, because there will be a lot of backlash. There will be a lot of people trying to tell you that you're not cut out for this job. But the one thing that I struggled with in the beginning was time management and time with my family, because at that job, when you start, you will work a lot of hours depending on your office. Okay. Depending on the office, because I have heard some carriers say that they hardly get any hours because the regulars there, they don't call out as much as the regulars at my office. At my office, when I was a CCA, we had someone call off work every single day. And on top of that, we had 6 carriers that were off on the same day. So CCAs were very, very important in my office. So with that being said, you guys know that I ran the same route for a long time when I became a CCA, because one of my coworkers had a death in the family. So I was lucky enough for a majority of my CCA career to run the same route. But 6 months, 7 months later, she came back. And of course, I had to go and run around and do the other routes. Now, it wasn't as bad with time management in the beginning because, like I say, I was running the same route every day. Once I was able to run through that route and of course help out everybody else, I was still off at a decent time. It might have been 4 or 5 o'clock because our truck leaves the office, our 18-wheeler, the one that takes the letters to the plant. They leave at about 6:30. So as long as all the outgoing mail is there by 6:30, they go ahead and, the flow of the mail continues. Things didn't change for me until I started rotating around to different routes in the office. That's when it started to get kind of crazy because, of course, it took me an hour and a half maybe to learn how to case those brand new routes. And then, of course, I had to hit the street and get on those routes and not know where I was going. And I could have struggled with one route one day, and then the next day, I'm on a whole new route where the struggle will continue. The next day, a whole new route, the struggle continues. So it's like I could never figure it out. That's how it felt. So it took me a lot longer to run those new routes as a CCA. And honestly, I wasn't able to help people as much as I did in the beginning of my career because I was out way past everyone else on some of those new routes. And I know some of you guys are going through the same thing. Don't feel bad about that because, the learning curve from being a regular working employee, Walmart, if you worked at, anywhere in retail or any other job, even at the bank, it's a different structure when you come to the post office. There's a learning curve because now you are doing part factory work in the morning time. And then you're doing delivery work, which delivery is a whole nother spectrum of job because in retail, someone gives you the blueprint and you basically sit behind the register. And if you have a problem, you call the supervisor, and the supervisor or manager at your job as a retail person, they'll come and fix the problem and you stay at the cash register. Or you might go out and clean up and they tell you how things are supposed to look. So retail is simple. There's a structure. At the post office, there's a structure as well, but a lot of the time you are free. You're on your own and you can't call the supervisor at my office and say, hey, I'm having a problem. What do I need to do? They're going to say, figure it out and make sure you're back by a certain time. If you have truck failure or if you get injured, you can call the office and they'll bring a mechanic out there, which most of the time, I don't know if you guys experience that, but my truck and the trucks at my office, they break down consistently. Flywheel problems, oil burning, oil leaking, all kinds of things, brake problems. I mean, guys, people really don't know that the mail trucks are the most dangerous trucks, the most dangerous vehicles on the road. And I really, man, it shocks me how much people pull out in front of me when I'm in that mail truck because my brakes could fail and I'm running into the back of your car. So, for regular people out there that are not mail carriers, don't pull out in front of the mail truck, man. We have those lights flashing in the back and around the truck for a reason, because that means y'all need to get out the way. Sometimes Sometimes those trucks, they jerk, the brakes are delayed. I mean, it's all kind of things going on. So anyway, back on track. You can call the supervisors for a truck failure and if you get injured. But if you're having route problems and you don't know where to go, or you got lost in a particular neighborhood, they're probably going to tell you to follow the mail, figure it out, reference what you learned in the academy, because the supervisors don't have the same route knowledge as we have as carriers. They went through a whole separate hiring process than we did. And a lot of the supervisors didn't start off as carriers. Some of them would tell a lie and say that they were carriers at first and became supervisors. But guys, you know, I've seen people come in as CCAs and only work maybe a week and then go into 204B immediately. So I haven't figured out how they get fortunate enough to do that, but that does happen. Most of the time it's the females. All right. So anyway, I know I just went off on a whole nother subject, but anyway, so I was having problems at home because, you know, I was spending too much time at work. And when you go from coming home at a decent time to then coming home 3 hours later, you know, you have to tell your partner like, hey, you know, stuff changing, you know, at work. It ain't no crazy stuff going on. I'm not getting off early, going to a bar and then coming home. You know, it ain't like that. But you lose valuable time with your partner, you know, wife or girlfriend, whatever you got, baby mama, and the kids, because you will be gone every day, most of the day. Okay. So a great thing to do would be to talk to your partner ahead of time, because I'm telling you this now so you'll know this job is going to be demanding. There are going to be days where you might not see me until nighttime and y'all getting ready to go to bed. You know, just keep it real. You might not see me until the next day. No, I'm just playing. It ain't that bad. But it's rough, y'all. It really does get rough. So on the home front, and my kids, for example, you know, well, I had one son. I had my first son before I started the post office, and I missed a lot of his, you know, just the simple things, the stuff during the day, the baby stuff, you know. And my girlfriend at the time, she took on majority of that load. And so the crazy thing is, in a relationship, when you're working at the post office, if your girlfriend or wife has been with the children all day, usually when you get home, they kind of want a break. But at the same time, you want a break because you've been out walking and, you know, sweating all day out in the freezing cold. You just really want to take a shower and sit down on the couch, really, and just clear your mind. But in my situation, and I'm pretty sure in other people's situation as well, if you've experienced this, please drop a comment and tell the people how crazy this is. Because when I get home, man, baby, tossed on to me, and I'm like, oh, man. I love my son. I do. And I do spend that time with him, y'all. But, you know, mentally, I'm like, man, you know, I would rather you just continue doing what you're doing and let me just reset, you know, go take a shower, sit down on the couch for a second and reset. Because what a lot of people don't know is when you're constantly moving all day, constantly, and I can assume that the factory workers kind of have this same mental syndrome, but when you get home and you sit down, your brain is still moving. It's still moving. It's still delivering mail for some reason in your mind. And so it's hard to calm down. You have to find a way to calm down and relax when you get off work, because you'll still be racing in the inside. It's strange. Like, I know the carriers know what I'm talking about. A lot of the times I have to just sit in the car for like 30 minutes. When I get off work, I just sit in the car and I listen to a pod or I listen to some music or something. But guys, it's real, man. It's real. Oh, by the way, I'm getting to know some of the carriers from all over the country. So if you're a carrier, drop a comment and let me know where you're from and, you know, how the route is going for you and how long you've been a mail carrier. I would love to hear that. But guys, try to figure out a way to handle the work-life balance situation the best you can. Most of the time, it'll happen through communication. If your wife or husband or, your man, boyfriend, girlfriend, if you can talk to them and tell them like, hey, this job is going to be demanding. I'm going to really need some grace from you for a little while until I become regular. And then I'll have a more structured time frame where you can be expecting to see me at home, because since I've been regular, now I know about what time I'll be home, and then I can say, hey, 4:30, whatever. This is what the mail look like. I'll be at the house at 4:30, whatever. And when you become regular, this job will be easier, okay? Because of course, you'll be offloading some of the extra onto the CCAs that's just coming in. So aim to go regular as soon as you can. Try to figure that out. And yeah, man. So I would just say try the job out. If you're thinking about it, try it out, man. It's a great opportunity. It's hard in the beginning. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not hard. It's hard, it's mentally draining, and it's stressful. Okay. Quick video for y'all, man. I love y'all. Thank you so much for the support, man. It's Express Mail. I'll see you next time.